Welcome, superstar. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to open a retreat to make sure that everyone is present and fully engaged. Nothing is worse than pouring your heart and your soul into creating a beautiful retreat experience and then having something go wrong that you know you could have prevented had you just addressed it up front. So this is what I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you, after many, many years of hard work and research doing retreats, what I've learned about how to open and create a great, safe, effective container in a retreat so that everybody is present, fully focused, engaged, supportive, and you have a better chance at having an incredible experience. So I like to focus on 4 key areas, and I introduce these. So what I'm going to share with you is exactly what I share in the beginning of my retreats with the people that are gathering. So I talk about the importance of full presence. Part of my pre-frame, aka my opening for a retreat, is to make sure that everybody there is going to be fully present and engaged. So I have this acronym that I use, and it's called FACE, F-A-C-E. And it's an acronym, and it's also meaningful because the idea is that when we do these things, F-A-C-E, then we face the situation in front of us with more presence, more love, more compassion, and more ability to develop and transform. So the F for face, and that I share with my clients at the beginning of the retreat, is that we need to show up and be focused. Now, what focus means is to be fully present in this moment with what is going on right here and right now. It means instead of thinking about retreats and about things in terms of, oh, it's my turn, or it's her turn, or it's his turn, and waiting for our turn to go. So for example, for our turn to share or for our turn to do an activity, instead to relate to everything as if it's our turn. So F, focus, means to be fully present and engaged even in someone else's experience. So that means rather than disconnecting when somebody else is having an experience, to dive even deeper in and to really lean into each other's experiences such that what one person does for themselves, they actually do for all of us. Part of focus, F, is also slowing down and getting really, really present and deeply listening. And I don't just mean listening for what is said, but also listening for what is unsaid, for changes in energy in the room, for shifts in perspective, for things that are more subtle, not just what's being said. Like, to be really aware of changes in energy, you have to be so present and so focused. Another thing that I ask people to do in the context of F for focus is to allow space. A lot of times in the corporate world, in the hustle and bustle of the world outside of our retreats, there can be this desire to fill up every piece of empty space, to have a response to everything, to jump in with our own perspective, our own ideas, and for someone to share something and kind of like a comedy sitcom on TV, for somebody to immediately quit back with something else. And what I've found is that in the context of a retreat, especially if it's a personal development retreat, or mindfulness retreat, or a spiritual retreat, that can really get in the way of the actual opportunity and possibilities for growth. If we're filling in every available second with chit chat, with personality, as Nani Leah, one of my mentors, calls it, if we're filling it always in with that, the way we act out there, we're not going to have a different experience in here. So by slowing down, bringing full presence, and then allowing space, meaning allowing somebody to say something and for there to be silence after the thing that's said. It's really unusual to have that in the world that we live in. And so creating a sacred container, creating a place in a retreat where that's different, just that by itself can create transformation, to give people opportunity to be with something that someone has said and to listen in a new way and to really receive something in a different way than you would out in the regular world. Now, before I get into the A and the C and the E of FACE, I do want to invite you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment below. The A in FACE is for allowing. So not only are we present, but also we relaxed and we let the experience unfold. A lot of times we can get into control mode. In my retreats are full of leaders. My retreats are full of speakers, consultants, coaches, authors, experts. These are people who are used to leading others and used to having everybody listen to them. And what I'm asking them to do is actually slow down and allow themselves to be led, and allow themselves to not know exactly how things are going to unfold, and allow the situation, the retreat, the event, whatever it is, to reveal itself to them. And this can be a real stretch for some people. So allowing is really allowing the experience to be what it is rather than trying to control it or change it. And what can often happen is that people want to coach other people. They want to fix something. Like if somebody's having a situation in a retreat, a lot of times people will try to jump in and change it or fix it or make the person feel better without realizing that this is exactly what needs to happen. The person has to have this experience of maybe even breaking down in order to be able to break through. So my request of people is to relax and allow yourself to have the experience and also to be led, and also to let me lead the experience. If not, I'd be stuck in a room with like 20 or 30 leaders, chiefs, trying to manage the situation. So up front, in order to create a great container and an effective retreat, I've got to remind them, you're here to be in the experience. I'm here to lead it. The C in FACE is for compassion. Compassion is about bringing love to the table. Now that might sound odd, especially if you're doing, for example, business retreats or something like that. But the truth is that bringing a nice dose of compassion really energizes everything. When people feel like participation and shares and feedback and support is coming from a place of trust and understanding and love, then people are much more likely to be open and receive it. And one of the biggest things missing, in my opinion, in our world today is compassion. So if we can bring a hefty dose of compassion into our retreats, then we can possibly also disseminate that out into the world. When people leave our retreats, maybe they'll carry that compassion with them. And there's a distinction that's really important to make, especially if you're leading leaders like I do, between compassion and saving or fixing. Meaning that a lot of times, especially with my clients, maybe with you, I get a lot of people who think compassion is about fixing the situation, solving the problem, changing what's happening, and that's different. Compassion is simply sending love to it, simply being with that without trying to change it or fix it. That doesn't mean we don't try to support, but it does mean that we don't try to swoop in and save. And then finally, the E is for equanimity. And equanimity is a really powerful thing to cultivate in your retreat spaces. Equanimity, the way I use the word, is all about paradox. It's about being both all in, committed, like every single one of you in this room is here to get this outcome, to transform, to build a new business, to do everything you came to do. And at the same time, can you hold it lightly? Can you not take it so seriously and be so attached to it and hold on to it so tightly that you squeeze the life out of it? Can you be all in and detached at the same time? That's equanimity. So that's FACE. Focus, allowing, compassion, and equanimity are the 4 components I think of creating an incredibly powerful container within which to provide leadership guidance and transformation. If you would like leadership guidance and transformation in your life to bring more of your gifts and magic into the world, let's connect. You can find more about my programs and services at superstaractivator.com/go.